So this time when the cyst came back, given that I was already inside of my research of studying and figuring out how to heal the body, I decided to run tests and experiments on myself with the cyst in my breast. So I started to really pay attention to what I was eating, and I would notice that it would fluctuate in size sometimes. Like sometimes it would be smaller and sometimes it would be larger. So I went and I got myself a journal and I started to write down everything that I consumed. At this point I had already stopped using any topical medicines or lotions or anything like that. I was already only using and creating my own natural products, but the food was really what was tampering with it. So I started to realize, like, when I ate starchy stuff like wheat or anything along those lines, that the cyst would grow. And when I would, like, abstain from eating and I would fast, like, on just fruit or something like that, it would get so small to the point where it was literally just about to go. So then I was like, oh shit, I'm onto something now. Like I'm gonna figure out how to heal this now, or how to get rid of this now. And then, you know, I started incorporating herbs and, you know, taking herbs. And then even so, I would notice that when I was taking certain herbs were not helping and me getting rid of the cyst. So I spent a lot of time consuming one thing at a time, just to pay attention. Every day I would do a brush check. I would examine it, if it got bigger, if it got smaller, what it was. And that's pretty much how I figured out what to avoid in order for the cyst to ultimately shrink and then break down to nothing. And so I put myself on a specific diet, and I avoided certain foods for an extended period of time until the cyst was gone. Like, and that's pretty much what happened. I started looking up herbs, and when I study shit, I really study it. So not only did I study herbs like in the holistic method, but I studied each culture and how they handle fibroid cysts and tumors. So I studied the Chinese culture, the Indian cultures, the West Indian and Caribbean cultures, and, you know, I already kind of knew how the Western culture handled it and what medicine they took. And then I pretty much gathered all of that knowledge together, and I started continuing to run the experiments on myself to see how and if and when, you know, if I could get this cyst to break down by itself. And ultimately I did. So in the next video, I'm going to tell you all the stuff that I avoided to make sure that the cyst did not grow any further.